Hello and welcome into Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Braiden Bell, and how about this? Back alongside Spencer Hardenbergh. Spencer, I've been gone for about 2 weeks, but it feels really good to be back right here where I belong, behind the anchor desk.
You do. I'm not going to lie, I actually did kind of miss you.
Wow.
All right. But I don't think you're the only one who is happy to be back where they belong, home this week.
Yeah, there's probably another group of Arizona residents that are excited to be home, and that, of course, ASU football. After a tough 0-2 road trip along the West Coast, the Devils return home this weekend. But before we completely turn the page, let's look back at ASU's performance last weekend against number 10 Washington. We'll roll the highlights. Number 10 Washington and Arizona State. The Devils started off hot. Eno says, oh no, I will get into the end zone. 7-0 Arizona State after a Chase Lucas interception. But the Huskies were able to respond quickly. It's Jake Browning, who looked very good in this ball game, finding Aaron Fuller over the middle, wide open for a Washington touchdown to tie the ball game up at 7. Then how about this highlight reel catch? Browning to the pride of Provo, Utah, Ty Jones, a highlight reel catch to put the Huskies on top 13-7. Nothing Arizona State's defense could do to stop Jones right there, and the Husky fans love it in Seattle. This was the big play of the game, however. Jake Browning, it was a 3rd and goal, rolling all the way out to the right side and eventually finding his tight end, Cade Otten, for 5 yards. This made it a 2-score game. Arizona State was able to score and cut the deficit to 27-20, but they fell just short. 27-20, the final score. The Devils fight, but ultimately could not beat number 10 Washington. Although the Sun Devils' upset bid fell just short in Seattle, ASU did have some bright spots. Joining us live from Sun Devils Stadium is Alex Gall.
Yeah, Braiden, the Sun Devils preparing to face the Oregon State Beavers here at Sun Devil Stadium this weekend. And as Coach Danny Gonzalez said of his defense, he's looking for significant contributions from Merlin Robertson, who last week versus Washington led the team in tackles and has been showing out in the early part of the season. When ASU's first depth chart was released prior to their showdown with UTSA, Merlin Robertson wasn't even listed as a starter. But after racking up 24 total tackles through the first 4 weeks of the season, the second best mark on the team, the freshman has found himself firmly planted in Danny Gonzalez's starting lineup.
Oh, it's been great. Honestly, ever since that first game, UTSA, it's just like I got real comfortable with with playing to the next level, and with my teammates too, having my teammates with me. I got a lot of chemistry with them, so it's just having people on the field with you that I can count on, and rely on, it eases up a lot for me. So.
Robertson leads the team with 3.5 tackles for loss and has also picked up 2.5 sacks. He was involved in 2 sacks in a row that helped seal ASU's upset of Michigan State. But while Robertson is drawing heavy praise from his coaches for his work ethic and determination, they still say he has a lot of room to grow.
The most consistent defensive player through 4 weeks has probably been Merlin Robertson. He's always in the right spot. 95% of the time, he's physical enough. Occasionally, he'll play something wrong, more off of just experience, not so much technique or not being in the right spot. He'll take a guy on the wrong way, and he'll fight to get back in position. Sometimes it's a little bit too late, but he's probably by far been the most consistent. The maturing process will keep getting better, and if they all continue to be consistent like Merlin, we'll be pretty good.
And with the Oregon State Beavers in town this weekend, ASU is going to be looking for some more contribution out of their most consistent defensive player this season, Merlin Robertson. Braiden, back to you.
Thanks, Alex. We'll come right back to you in a moment, but now I'm joined in studio by WCSN football analyst Harley Yearout. Harley, ASU's defense is young, and they're still learning, and that's been obvious so far this season. The first 2 games looked great. The last 2, it's been a different story. What has changed?
Well, Braiden, I'm not really sure anything has changed. It seems to just be a case of ASU's young defense not traveling well on the road. I was talking to Chase Lucas on Wednesday, and he seemed to think that nothing has changed in their game plan. They're just losing these games by less than a touchdown. So you look at the numbers here, and ASU allowed 311 yards in their loss to San Diego State on the ground. And then, of course, the game against Washington, the defense seemed to show up. The offense just quite wasn't there. But through the first 2 games, ASU's defense was the talk of the nation, put them into the top 25 at number 23. And like you said, since then, it's just been quite a fall.
Now over to the offense. It seemed like the Sun Devils are trying to establish a new identity. What did you see, Alex?
And yeah, Braiden, it really was the Eno Benjamin show last weekend versus Washington. The sophomore racked up 26 carries, rushing for just over 100 yards in the game. But it was really important for ASU to establish that ground and pound running game early, and they really did that with Benjamin. They went to him 6 straight times in that first drive, netting a touchdown out of it. And they also got some significant contributions from Eno Benjamin, Isaiah Floyd, as well as Traylon Smith. So looking forward, that ground and pound running game is going to be important for them, but expect to see them open it up a little bit more and air it out with Manny Wilkins this coming weekend.
It's a great point, Alex. We'll see what ASU does in their next game, and we'll bring back Harley Ura now to predict that game and give us some analysis. Oregon State on Saturday. The Devils are finally back home after those 2 tough road losses. What do you expect to see against one of the teams that have really struggled in the Pac-12 recently?
Braiden, I think this is going to be a really interesting game. As Alex mentioned, this is a chance for ASU to find some balance offensively. Of course, against Washington, they went very run-heavy, and the passing numbers weren't quite there. This is a game for the offense to really find some balance and get right. And for the defense, it's a chance to show their stuff. For the offensive side of the ball, Oregon State ranks 3rd to last in defense this season, and that's a good shot for Arizona State to get going here. You want to look back a few years ago where Arizona State had a chance to play in the college football playoff, the first ever college football playoff, and Oregon State played spoiler. I don't expect anything like that this week. I think ASU wins by at least 21 points.
So the Devils going from the big-time underdog last week. Now they're the big-time favorites. We'll see how they adapt to that. Harley, Alex, great stuff as always. And for more content on ASU football, visit cronkitesports.com.
After winning just one of their final 10 conference games last season, the women's soccer team is off on the right foot this year. After an opening 2-1 win over Cal, Graham Winkworth's side came to a 1-1 draw against a Colorado team who happened to not only be undefeated, but also ranked 18th in the nation. Here's Tyler Mannion with the tale of the tape.
The Sun Devils entered Thursday's game 1-0 in Pac-12 play, ready to host the Colorado Buffaloes, who entered the match with a top 3 offense and defense. They had scored 32 goals and only allowed 3 through their first 10 matches of the season. Early on, it seemed like ASU would help pad Colorado's stats, as loose defense in the box led to a 14th minute goal from the visitors. The Devils had chances, but Buffalo goalie Jalen Tompkins was not ready to give up her shutout streak that started the day at 543 minutes long. After halftime, ASU had something to say about that.
It felt really good. I knew Gemma was trying to hit where I was running, so it was just easy. She played a great ball. Just kind of flicked it in.
The rest of the half saw several chances go begging, as Tompkins stuffed the Devil attackers. Defensively, ASU put in an organized and physical effort with tackles all over the field. Colorado's Barton Tatum, who came into the game 2nd in the country in goals, was not allowed a single shot on target.
I feel like we were solid. Solid in the back, solid in the mid. Whenever they were coming at us for a counter, we were dropping, staying compact, and our mids were coming back and covering for us.
To overtime, the contest went, and ASU continued to create chance after chance after chance until time ran out.
I think we were very unfortunate not to win today. I believe we were the better team, and I thought we were absolutely fantastic from start to finish. We're disappointed because it feels like a bit of a loss because we wanted to win that game, but at the same time, very proud of every single person who stepped on the field today because the performance was fantastic.
The Sun Devils had a real opportunity at beating the number 18 team in the country here at Sun Devil Soccer Stadium, but converting on only one of their 13 shots on target kept them from collecting all 3 points. The Sun Devils hit the pitch next Sunday at 1 p.m. against Utah. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Tyler Mannion.
What emoji best describes your head coach? What about if you were on a road trip? Who would you trust with the aux cord? These are the hard-hitting questions that don't often get asked around ASU student athletes. Well, luckily we have a segment for that. With ASU's women's hockey season opener on Friday night, we thought it was time to throw the team into the ring of fire once again.
Ooh, none of them. I heard Macy has some moves, Macy or Maddie, and Kathy can break it down.
Alyssa, because I don't know, she's pretty good compared to everyone else.
Yeah, she's the best.
Casey, for sure. Jordan, Nash Bolden.
Abby. Definitely me. Me.
Not Abby. Not Abby.
Not Abby.
Ooh.
Probably Landry.
Landry.
Jordan. Probably Jordan.
Maya, just because she like switches it up in different genres and everything.
I would say right now, probably Casey, maybe.
Lindsay.
Probably the monkey with like this.
That face that has like the circular like face, like.
The one that has like no mouth, it's just the eyes.
I feel like she makes that one a lot.
Either the purple devil or the one that's like smiling but the eyes are just circles.
The one with like the straight line and then like the muscle emoji. Just like the bored kind of face. I don't know.
I think like the blonde lady emoji that's going like this.
Because I can never tell when she's, what emotion she has ever, so yeah.
The mad face.
Just over 2 weeks ago, Arizona State was ranked #1 in innovation for the 4th straight year. The dynasty is alive and well, flourishing in the Arizona desert. However, there is another potential dynasty in the works on campus as ASU's women's triathlon team. The back-to-back national champions took another step towards a dynasty as they swept the podium this past weekend in Longmont, Colorado. The high elevation did not affect the squad as they had 6 of the top 7 finishers. With the dominant performance, ASU is officially qualified for nationals, which will be held in Tempe on November 4th. Now we'll move away from the innovation and potential dynasties to a simple word: identity. Sure, the Sun Devil men's basketball guard you style of play may be a thing of the past, but Coach Bobby Hurley's hopes they can carry on one thing into their old identity into the new one, and that is winning. The Devils are back on the practice courts, and we were there to hear from all the important figures on day one.
ASU officially began practice for their new season on Tuesday. After their loss of their 3 senior guards, this year they feature new faces, new roles, and a new team identity.
We're not going to be the same team. We'll be different. You know, we played smaller lineups, and certainly we have a lot more length and athleticism on this year's team.
Not only the size, we have guys out there that could actually pass, move, with their ability to be big. So it's just a bonus.
It's big guard you, because we got some bigger guards, some guys with size that can handle the ball and make plays. It's definitely a different look, and I think Hurley has his work cut out for him.
And the official start of the Big Guard U era will be November 6th versus Cal State Fullerton. In Tempe, Chancellor Johnson, Cronkite Sports.
After 21 straight conference losses, the sun has finally risen for ASU women's volleyball. The squad took down the Cal Golden Bears in Berkeley last Sunday for their first Pac-12 win since November 26, 2016. Part of this turnaround just might be a change made in the team. Sophomore Nicole Peterson made an adjustment from setter to hitter, and it clearly made an impact on how the team functioned. We'll go to Troy Chaucer with that story right now.
Since her days at Jesuit High School, ASU's Nicole Peterson has always been about getting the job done, even when it requires her to learn a new position. After playing all around in her first 3 years, Peterson moved to setter for her senior year of high school, a position that stuck with her when she first donned the maroon and gold. But as ASU volleyball tries to find its winning formula, Peterson is now back on the attack, having been transitioned to pin hitter for the 2018 season. For Peterson, the challenge of moving positions is worth it if it will help the team be successful.
It's taken some time, especially because I sat for a little while at the beginning of the season. So it's definitely taking time, but it's fun. And honestly, it's what the team needs. It's what my coach wants me to do, and I'm going to do anything that I have to.
Through her team-first attitude, Peterson has become an essential part of head coach Sanja Tomasevich's game plan.
Nick is the kind of player that you have to have on the court. Her presence, her heart, her willingness to do whatever it takes, how hard she works, and because the kid wants it more than anybody else. And that's something I can't teach. If I could teach somebody to want something, then I would bottle up and sell it, because that would be a lot of money right there.
With 61 kills on a 157 hitting percentage, the numbers aren't quite there for Peterson yet. But her ability to find opportunities others might miss was evident even while she was still a setter.
Her ability to find ways to score is pretty amazing. You know, she doesn't have to have a good set all the time. You know, she has what we call a toolbox of shots that I don't think a lot of people have in the Pac-12. So I'm pretty sure she is going to surprise a lot of people about her ability to score.
For Cronkite Sports, I'm Troy Tauscher.
Great stuff there about Nicole Peterson. Anyways, it's now time for Sun Devil social media. Here today to help us guide us through the wild world of ASU social media is our very own Jack Harris. Jack, we haven't seen you in a while in this segment.
I know.
How you doing?
I've been missing it behind or in front of the camera.
We miss you.
I know. I've been behind the camera
too often.
Hey, this ship's kind of going off course. Put us back on schedule right here.
I am real excited about this week because there was a lot going on social media, especially because of ASU football and the new trend they tried to start in Washington this week. I'm sure everybody saw what we're about to put up on the screen here. Chase Lucas doing the curls on the sideline with the turnover gains. Oh, man, just look at this with the barbell. Now, some people were wondering about his form a little bit, but I got to ask you guys, what was your thought on this? Because we've seen all the different turnover acts different teams have done. How does this one rank?
Well, my first question is how much weight does he have on that? I think that's number one. Number two, I don't know if I like it as for a turnover thing. I don't know. I feel like it has to be more bold, more flashy than just a normal barbell thing.
I never thought I'd see Arizona State do something like this, especially under Herm Edwards. But if it was a prop or something, it's kind of a grinder mentality.
Yeah,
and that's the one thing I wasn't that surprised.
Now, of course, Herm Edwards was asked about this on Monday, and he kind of had your view on this, Spencer. Here's what he had to say about the turnover gains.
I didn't even bring that on the plane. I didn't get that one. I'm so busy doing other stuff, and I saw that. I'm like you. I was like, what are we doing here? I got to ask the weight coach about that one. That must be. I know Miami has the chain deal, and some other teams do some other things. That was a new one. I don't know. Did you like it? I just looked and went, what are we doing? I didn't know what to think. I was too busy. After the interception, I'm on the phone talking to the offensive guy, and I'm going, excuse me, I'm watching Chase do curls. And I said, but let's talk about the series now because we're trying to score a touchdown. Literally, I saw it, and I went, and I told Likens, I said, Coach, 1 second, Case is doing curls. And he said, what? And I said, oh, don't worry about it. And I got back to him because it was like, so I don't know. I got to ask the weight coach about that.
Pretty clear confusion there from Coach Edwards. What is going on over there? So we did some digging, all right? We had to figure out where this came from. Started asking around the practices this week, and here's what we ended up finding here. We'll bring up the tweet. N'Keal Harry apparently came up with the idea.
Right.
Yeah, he said during practice last week, he saw John Humphrey doing them in the weight room, said, Coach Joe, the strength coach, we got to bring this to Seattle. Yeah. And he said it wasn't just for turnovers either. He said this was going to be for any big plays. If he would have brought that punt back, he would have been getting swole on the sideline, all right? So you were thinking, all right, maybe we can see some of the offensive guys doing it this coming week. Oregon State's coming to town. It's going to be a lot of touchdowns, except not on Herm Edwards' watch. Yeah, no, he squashed that one. So did Coach Danny Gonzalez, the defensive coordinator. They're not so much about the flash. These are old school coaches. Yeah. They just want the turnovers. Yeah, just like that. But what do you guys think? Is this the right move? I mean, come on. There's a little bit of fun on the sideline.
They're football guys.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. They're football guys. They don't want the flashiness. They don't want the flair. They want to win games. I guess I get that. But I got to say, power move. Put your own tweet in there.
You know what? With the serious reporting that we do here, you got to ask around sometimes. And that was the story of the week, really, at ASU football.
Well, thank you very much, Jack. Loved that. And now, after week 4 of Pac-12 play, we see the standings starting to shape up. Let's head over to Jack Lauderay, who has more on that in this week's Impact.
Thanks, Spencer. After the first full week of Pac-12 play that brought us games such as the Stanford-Oregon overtime thriller and the ASU-Washington nail-biter, teams are now looking to another big slate of games this week. The action begins tonight when UCLA travels to Boulder to take on Colorado. Then on Saturday, the action in the Pac begins in the afternoon when Utah takes on Washington State. Stanford, coming off the thrilling overtime victory over Oregon, will have another difficult challenge ahead of them as they travel to Notre Dame. In the 7 versus 8 ranked showdown, the ranked action doesn't stop there, as the number 20 Cougars from BYU travel to Seattle to take on Washington. To round out ranked play, number 19 Oregon heads down south to take on number 24th ranked Cal. To finish off the week in the Pac-12 football, we have ASU returning home to Tempe to take on Oregon State. And the Trojans from USC travel to Tucson to face the Wildcats from the University of Arizona. That's all I've got this week. Back to you guys.
There are a few things in life I love more than a full slate of Pac-12 football.
Absolutely.
Pretty good stuff there. Another thing I love in my life, though, is the way it is, and that's what we're going to right now.
Let's get after it.
3 questions, a little bit of debate, and then we'll see who has the best answers, and they can just go on a little monologue, a little rant, if you will.
Kick us off.
It's a lot of fun. All right, so star wide receiver N'Keal Harry had 5 receptions and only 20 yards against Washington last week. What will the bounce back look like this week against Oregon State?
Well, they're playing Oregon State, bad defense. I'm looking over 100 yards, maybe a touchdown or 2.
Okay, I went oddly specific. Don't ask why.
That's fine.
6 receptions, 93 yards, and a touchdown, but Kyle Williams will be the star of the offense.
I'm holding you to that. I'm holding you to those numbers. Now, we know ASU Volleyball, as we mentioned, picked up their first Pac-12 win in a long time. So, how many do they get this year after starting off with that one?
I don't want to rain on the parade. A lot of hype around the program after winning that game. I'm going to say they just win 1 more. They get 2.
They get 2.
It's a building program. There's nothing to be ashamed of. The Pac-12 obviously very good at volleyball, but I'm saying only just 1 more.
Going 4.
Okay.
Going 4. All right,
Okay.
I'll step it up a little bit. 4 and 16. 4 and 16, ladies. Let's see.
All right, last one. A little bit of fun on this one. ASU's turnover barbell. You just heard about it on social media. Caught some attention last weekend. If you could customize a turnover prop for yourself, what are you going to use?
Well, now I said I didn't really love the barbell. I need flash, all right? It's entertainment.
Okay.
What I want, maybe we can go low with sparklers, but I want to go big. All right, if you get a turnover or a big play, you get to light off the fireworks in the stadium.
Wow.
It's great. It's great for the family, great for the program. Win-win all around.
That's definitely against the clear bag policy, no doubt about it.
That's the one thing we're breaking.
It's a dream world, whatever. Okay, I have a sweet tooth.
Okay.
So I'm not crazy like you. How about a real blueberry turnover? Whoever
right,
gets a
I like it,
turnover,
I like
defensive lineman would love it.
Yep.
Get him a nice snack, munch on it on the sideline. That would be great.
Need the electrolytes coming.
Exactly.
Coming from somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
somewhere.
health in those.
Yeah.
Hostess. Yeah. Those are great.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Sure.
now we'll wait.
What do we got?
See, yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear to me.
It's also pretty clear to me. I think we would disagree.
Oh man.
2-0. Look at that. Well, it may have been a tough week for the ASU football fans out there as the guys lost their second straight. It was the absolute opposite for the ASU volleyball team. The team got their first win against a Pac-12 opponent in 666 days. They beat Cal, whose last Pac-12 win was 333 days ago. It's a coincidence, right? Well, let's look at who they beat. You got it, Arizona State. Just because ASU broke the long streak against the second worst team in the Pac-12, them being the worst, does not mean that they're back. ASU has a lot of new pieces and a lot to figure out before they are respected by the conference. The next months of games will help us decide if they will be a legit program in this conference, and we'll see if the squad is up to the challenge, and that's the way it is.
You might see some volleyball in these top plays. Here we go. Best 3 plays of the week. We'll start with Arizona State football. Eno Benjamin. Washington trying to stop him. He says, oh no, I'm getting in on a 4th and goal. Plunges into the end zone. There you go. The Devils rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, getting into the end zone. Eno Benjamin. And that is top play number 3.
Hey, Braiden, you hungry?
Very hungry.
Madison Wolf is hungry like the rules. Roll the audio.
The set piece inside the 6 off the head of Madison Wolf, and we have a tie match. 1 goal each. Madison Wolf, what a goal.
Madison Wolf off the side of her head. This girl's been studying in geometry class. She knows her angles. Goal into the corner. Great goal for Wolf. And well done. Well done by the ladies out on the pitch.
Shout out geometry. All right. Number 1 play of the weekend. Back to the volleyball court. How about Elise Ford saving her squad not once, but twice, and then ultimately winning the game for Arizona State. They snapped the losing streak, 666 days since they had won a Pac-12 game, and they go ahead and do it in Berkeley against the Cal Bears. Big shout out to Elise Ford and the rest of that volleyball team.
And the rest of the team. That's a long time. Good news, you won't have to wait that long for us to be back. We will be back same time, same place next week from everyone here at Cronkite Sports Live. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.